Hey everybody, welcome to the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Gimpy, along with the one, the only, the blue solo cup drinking, Chipped Monk. What's up, brother?
What's happening, bro? I got the cold brew in a cold blue cup, dude.
Is it really cold brew? Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I was debating doing cold brew this morning, man. It was in the fridge. It was just staring at me.
Yeah.
But it's cold as hell today. It's snowing.
Yeah.
You know, I went outside for a little bit just to grab a package, and it was cold as shit, dude. I was like, I need something warm.
Dude.
I need a nice warm cup of Joe. You know.
There you go, man. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I went out there to take a gander at the snowfall that's coming down. I'm like, all right, bet. And then went back inside.
Yeah. It's funny because the last snowfall that we had that was substantial enough was right before Christmas. So the kids and I made a snowman, and that snowman, like, it started to melt, but it still like has half of its body left, but the head's long gone. And I was like, oh, we could rebuild, you know. So we'll see if the kids want to do that when the snowfall's done. Dude. Yeah, because I mean it's still so powdery right now. It's not gonna set. So we'll probably see tomorrow when it has a chance to set. But yeah, it should be good.
It's cutting towards the end of the snow season.
Yeah, definitely. Which I'm happy about. I'm ready to get out. I gotta start disc golfing, man. That's I've been jonesing for it. I got out like 3 times at the end of the season last year, and I haven't gone too consistently, but like at the end of the year, a friend of mine bought a house near a course. So he's like, hey man, he lives probably 10 minutes away from me. He's like, hey, let's play. There's no reason not to. What are you doing right now? I was like, nothing. The kids. He's like, bring the kids. So it was good. Yeah, so it was good. I gotta get the boys all playing too. We gotta do our big ass group. Get the crab, dude, and all that. Yeah, dude, get all it's like 10 of us. like on a casual day.
It's an all day event.
For sure. The last time we did it with crab, just ate at the little diner, and it was a good day, man.
Yeah, it was fun. Great.
Super fun.
Always a good time, dude. Throwing the discus out there with the boys, hitting the courses.
Exactly. But other than that, man, I've been, like I said, my New Year's resolution was just to kind of get into VR more than before. Try the competitive aspect and stuff with it. But with that, I've been clearing out my backlog of VR as well.
Did I talk to you about this at all? I watched like a video about this guy talking about like UI interfaces with VR. Did we talk?
You not on the pod, but outside of the pod. But if you want to bring it up, feel free.
No, I don't know. I don't see it. Again, like my whole conjecture is that like people, when they get into the VR world, they just want to be chilling, dude. I think like all the commercialization, all the nonsense, all the videos of sci-fi video of it, like the future that was sold to us, and people like running around doing backflips in their like patio. I don't see it, man. I don't think that's what people want to do. I don't think people want like hand floating in their hand, like in front of a Minority Report style. I think like give people a controller or a keyboard and mouse, like, and like a desk.
You know what? I love the Valve Knuckles, right?
Yeah.
But I do want a Minority Report like finger, like
that's
using
what this
your hand
guy was
to
trying
do
to
that.
do. He was like,
I'd like to do it just for UI only. I don't want the Minority Report feel in a game.
It's like, what if it's like all like a triangle and it's like the Jurassic Park style interface where you have to like open up like a database and like go into it. And I'm like, man, it sounds horrible, dude. Like, just I want to type a thing and have it show up. But you kids in your VR
what's
worlds.
Funny with the Minority Report? It's just a glorified touchscreen. It's just there was a hologram instead. So I mean, really, all of this could exist just on a big ass tablet screen where you could do all of the stuff and swipe. And it was literally just that with a holographic screen. So, it's the technology exists. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've been looking at. They have like things you can buy now for monitors that like it's like a frame that goes around. It's like an IR infrared interface for like touch compatibility with like any screen.
Yes.
It goes up to like 60, 80 inches, and it's like $100 or something. It's extremely affordable. It's like turn any screen into a touch screen, and I'm like, man, I'm surprised this isn't bigger. that
Because
people
not
are
every
talking
screen is
about.
designed to touch. You know.
Yeah,
So.
it turns every screen into a touchscreen.
No,
Feels
no,
like
no,
a
I know,
computer.
but not every screen do you want to have fingerprints on too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's,
this was
like
like for like
you fucking touch
tabletop
my
games and
TV and
stuff.
we're throwing
Yeah,
hands. That's all I'm
let me just get
saying.
my little paw prints all over your TV
Yeah,
screen,
bro, we're
dude.
throwing hands, dude. I don't care how much bigger
So,
you want it to be. We're throwing hands, brother.
like, oh, can I touch this? Can I move around? Can I draw something here real quick? Yeah, man.
But
Yeah, like
yeah, bro.
I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think most people want to interface with computers that way.
Your
But
thought of doing it for tabletop is actually incredible. There's one of the what is it?
yeah,
You
so
showed me
people are
that,
doing
right?
it.
There's like
I don't
that
know, maybe.
barcade tabletop thing where people
Yeah,
use it for like D&D stuff or
yeah, there's a
Warhammer.
few.
That looks sick, dude. I'd be
Yeah,
interested in that. I don't even play those games, but I'd be interested in it just because the tech
yeah,
tech
just to
behind it's
throw
so cool.
down.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely feels like there's no good way to get people in. Kind of like VR in general, where it's like most people don't want to drop like $400 on a lark to like see if it's
Hmm.
something they'd be into. But everybody you put it in it or they get to try it, they're like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Like
Yeah,
I get it
yeah,
now.
yep,
I understand.
yep.
And I don't know. So those aha moments and are few and far in between. Like a lot of like the live demo displays, those all got pulled from like most big box
They
retailers,
did.
like
They did.
because they're causing pink eye and stuff to y'all nasty.
That was one of our first episodes, second
Yeah,
episode of
man.
the pod, dude. The pink eye epidemic what was that Best Buy?
Yeah, man. It'd be
Bro,
out there, dude.
can you imagine what grody motherfucker walked up and just like dripping pus out of their eyes and just go, let me hop on this
Yeah,
VR real quick
let me
at
see what's
multiple
going on.
stores.
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah,
but
man. So the people out there. So yeah, I don't know. Don't share the VR, dude. You have like VR eye condoms or something for people to just even be able to use it to try it out.
it's not even that. It's not even,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. But
Yeah, but I don't know. I think like keyboard, mouse, like if we can like create interfaces for people to, like sit first, or I think like it should. And like the guy brought up a lot of the things I've said here on this show, where there needs to just be like almost like factory settings from like the rip, where it's like, all right, how are you playing this game? Are you sitting in a chair? Are you laying down? Are you standing up? How do you want to interact with things? How do you like best move in VR? Do you want it to be like, at steps? Do you want to be able to like move in real time? Just like things like that where you can like have like default settings that are
the
like
games do that though. Like when you start
yeah,
any
yeah,
game, you set.
yeah. Yeah, it's like every game, but it's like for every game you gotta do this. So it's like, why not just have like, these are my default preferences when I first, boot up my VR and use that for everything.
That's interesting. I think the medium's still too new to streamline
Yeah,
that
but it's
because if
somehow
you
owned
think,
by like a couple, like it's like the XR standards.
Yeah.
Like anytime like I've booted up like Unreal or Unity to make a game, like there's like standards in there, there's settings in there, and like yeah, there are standards, and they're like just not using it.
True, and I'd say because it's so new, like just what the last console generation we had it to where if you like, let's say you're a console player, right? You pick up the same controller every day. That's your controller, right?
It's mine.
Now it's like Xbox, PlayStation. You can say this is, and when this controller turns on, you sign into that profile, and it loads your profile settings. So when I'm playing FPS games on a console, I invert my look controls. So I have that
Like
as
a
my
camera.
default. Yeah, exactly. So I never have to go in and change it, right? But if someone uses my controller, I have to go in and change it, like the opposite in the game. But if it's 99% of the time, it's just me. So not having to go in and adjust the inversion every time is great.
It's all eyes on you, man.
But it took what, 20 years to get to that point. So I think VR still needs
from
that.
Zero, dude.
They are though. They are.
Yeah, they're starting from zero, but you can take lessons learned from other platforms. You don't have
But
to
do you know why?
we need to wait.
There's a difference in the physiology of it though, because you have to get VR legs first. The majority of people they get lightheaded, see like motion sickness or stuff with VR, and you have to like keep trying to get over that. So if you start off in a seated position, you're never going to try and get over it. So I would argue that forcing them to try to move is helpful to push the entire medium forward.
Yeah. Is there any new killer app out there that you've seen like on the horizon for VR where you're like, oh, this is it. This is what's going to move the industry forward. It's going to push units, dude. Because I haven't seen it. Like for me, it's always just been like Alex, and that's it. Like I'm like get Bone Labs too, like Alex and
not at the time. There's games I'm excited for, but as
Yeah.
far as like a killer app that's going to change the game, I would say no, but I don't think that's a bad thing. What we
Like even like
need.
services got bought up. Like there was like
Mhm.
live events and stuff where it's like, oh, you can buy tickets to this, and I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. And they're like, we bought this up, and like now we're not doing it anymore. It's like, all right, why?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
What needs
weird.
to happen is we
They just
need
want the
more,
patents.
because for VR, right, we had one great game, and then we
Yeah.
had like very little good games. We had okay games that got bolstered by the fact that there's so little on the market.
Yeah.
We need more good games, like, and more, just breadth of games that are good. You bought, you don't feel ripped off. It's a
Yeah.
decent length experience, and we're getting there. So
Yeah.
I'd rather have like 10 games that I enjoyed. It may not have pushed the boundaries or anything, but I enjoyed. It was a great experience and I could recommend, than
Oh, yeah.
one killer app at this moment, because the medium's so new, and I think, will they come? Sure. Sure. Is there
Yeah.
anything on the horizon right now that I could see doing it? Not really. Even the game that I was super excited for, Behemoth,
Yeah.
launched with some issues that have since been fixed. And I think for
Oh.
me, that'll probably be the game I'm looking forward to playing through most of this year once I pick that up.
Oh, yeah.
But there's definitely room for improvement everywhere. But the thing that VR does so well is sense of scale, and that game
Yeah.
does scale. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
man.
Shadow of the Colossus in life.
I
So
told you, man, like even like the VR Sculpt, the free program with like the Oculus Rift, I think it's like an Adobe product, but like
yes,
even that, like when you're sculpting in there and like you can like do the the hand gesture
Yeah.
and like make it huge, and you're like looking up at like this thing you just sculpted, it's like massive. You're like, whoa. It does like even just like sculpting something like, so I was like sculpting on like mechs, and like I recorded myself doing it, and I was
Yeah.
watching back like one of those replays, and like I looked at it and I was like, dang. And like even the video, I'm like, damn, that looks cool in the video. And I was like, it was even like, I think like in the video you can hear me be like, whoa, like say like
hell yeah, dude.
like after like so, and then like I shrink it down to like the size of like the palm of my hand. For it's like almost like a tabletop figure, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, this is awesome.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, the creative space is like kind of awesome. Like again, like even as much as I love that, I was like, I don't think I would like use this as like my main 3D modeling program though, but it's like fun to like really relax and just like get into a world of like a studio world of like, I'm just gonna do art in this
it's like
space.
getting pottery or sculpting with clay, right? Without getting your hands dirty.
Yeah, it's like having like a studio, like a clay sculpting like studio, just like there,
Yeah.
any place, dude. And like, I don't know, those are like really cool experiences, and like they're awesome. And again, I feel like it's like great entry into like those creative spaces, but like at a certain point, like it's kind of the reasons why like I kind of stay away from Minecraft and stuff, because I was like, I enjoy it and I have fun. I love like expressing like my creativity, but like after a day or two, I'm like, man, if I do create something really cool, I just want to be able to use it in other things. Like
It's locked to Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just locked into like that area, and like, and there's ways to export things like from Minecraft and stuff. And in the sculpts I was making, you can save them as like OBJs and stuff, and like pull them into like Blender or Maya or whatever you're using. But it's like an extra step, and then you're pulling things out. But I don't know, man, it's fun. It's cool. I like it. I want more of those type of experiences. And it's a shame, like you're saying, like 10 like okay games. I'd enjoy like 3 like blockbuster style games like every year personally. Is what I think it needs to like be pushed forward into like the mainstream.
We need developers to do it too, though, right?
Yeah.
We need the developers on board. I think
they all get bought up, dude. Like anyone who has like a halfway decent idea, like they're like getting bought up and like not creating anything. It seems like they just kind of go into the void.
That's true, but I will argue, at least each year we get one killer app where you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
Vertigo 2 a few years ago, Metro Awakening this year. It's the AAA feel, and it's accomplishing that.
The polish.
So I think it's there, and I think too, you and I need to play more in VR, especially to get the spatial audio and the spatial of like just like. It feels like we're hanging out when the VR game is good. It feels
Yeah.
like if I turn to my right and there you are, right?
Just
Or we were
chilling.
playing Path of the Warrior. We were just playing a beat
Yeah.
'em up, right?
Yeah.
I could
The
yeah.
warrior.
I could throw you a bat. You could catch it and just start beating a guy to death, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Everything
physical
works
act
how it
of
should.
yeah, exactly. Of
Yeah.
me just going, "Hey, Chip," throwing you something, you grabbing it. It's it gives us that sense
Don't be a
of just
cheeseburger. I'm
chilling,
low on health.
Exactly. I just picked up Legendary Tales, which is kind of like a VR Diablo or
All right. Yeah.
whatever. It's kind of on the spendy side, honestly, but the fact that it has physics based combat, full co op, like through a campaign, or you can do like Horde if you'd like. I think would be really fun to play with people. It's up to 4 players co op. So I'd say if there's something like you and I played when we played Ultimax, I think we were a great team, and
Yeah.
it was super fun. Just like passing the ball back and forth, or really like you coming in for the save off the top, So
Yeah.
which is for
Did,
those who don't know, Ultimax, it's like Rocket League kind of a sporting game where you're robots in
Max.
VR. Yeah. So
Did you ever get deeper into like we're talking about like AAA games? There's like the huge modding scene with like all these games that got opened up that were using Unreal. Did you ever like keep pursuing that at all? I know like you're playing like what was the
yeah,
last one, like Resident Evil 2,
RoboCop,
the
Resident Evil
remake?
2.
How's RoboCop?
Oh, it's sick, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You feel
Nice.
like Murphy because the
Yeah.
game does such a good job with audio design. That one was probably the Resident Evil 2. I need to beat.
Yeah.
In VR is just a big undertaking, and when I was playing it, it was holiday time,
Yeah.
so my VR spot kept getting just overtaken. But felt amazing, felt near native. But I will say, RoboCop, as far as like a mod, was such a just this is what we can do kind of a moment,
Yeah.
As the sound design was great, hearing the RoboCop theme kick in as I'm going off freeze punk, and just fucking
Yeah.
blasting people, and then it worked really well. So you're right, that's one of the things that can take VR forward. But the problem with that is there's so much modding or downtimes where you have to be a little computer savvy to do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's hard to do, but for the average person, I think it's difficult to accomplish.
Yeah, like if you get this as like a gift for like your kids or something, they'd be like, "Oh, you're not going to want to like take the extra time to like, be like, oh, let me help you jailbreak this real quick and like get access to this other library of games that we have on the PC and hopefully have a good enough PC to like run all this stuff." But
exactly, but I think it's there, and I think if you're looking for it, you can definitely have it. And there's the games that do VR plus flat screen and multiplayer. There needs to be more of them.
Yeah.
Valheim, I don't really care for Valheim outside of VR. Playing Valheim in VR, it's one of the best games ever.
Yeah, man. It's just like a VR emulation, retro emulation that's really good.
Yeah, that's good too. That one I just it's there's stuff out there. You just have to look, and that's the problem, right? Visibility is the problem.
And like ease of access to for some of the stuff where it's like, oh, if you sign up for this thing and then get on a Discord, then you can download a thing.
Yeah.
You're like, man, this is getting shadier and shadier. And it's like, yeah, don't worry. It says it's a virus. Just hit accept all.
And
accept
all. Yeah. There's that one where we were getting a game together, and you're like, "Bro, is this a virus?" Like, no, I scanned it, dude. You're fine. Just do it. You're like, I don't know, dude. I'm like, just fucking trust me, bro.
Sources trust me, dude.
Yeah. So, and that's unfortunate, but like I actually kind of prefer this because I was just talking to my coworkers the other day about the state of the internet in the early 2000s and how that was my favorite time. Yes, I would like today's speeds, but I want yesterday's just openness, right?
Yeah.
Like now the internet itself has become so corporate where creativity is just hampered a lot.
Sure.
So VR feels like the early internet, where people are just trying to make things for fun and doing it because it's cool, right? So
for the love of the game, man.
Yeah. So let me back off and get off of VR for a bit too, and go over just because it's February now. What am I up to? What are you up to? Chip, I feel like we talked about me quite a bit. Any updates on yourself for any projects or anything, brother?
No, I've been reading more. I've been chilling. I sent you some of those ideas I had for like almost like an animation project. Yeah. I was like going to use like retro PlayStation graphics and then do like commentary over it. And I was like looking at like we talk about this even for like designing games and stuff. You want to like have a target like platform and scope and all this stuff. Like it's true about like any type of art medium you're doing. So it's like what is the aspect ratio? Like what platforms would we end up putting this stuff on? So I was looking at like YouTube Shorts again, and I was like, oh, I've had experience with that. I know how to do stuff. And then like went to go check the state of like YouTube Shorts. Dude, it's all become like semi-pornographic, dude. Is like that.
That's your algorithm, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. This was like fresh. I like opened up like a blank, empty browser. You know, I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, all right, let me see here, and I click. Is like the first thing's like, watch this lady trying on clothes. Watch this. I'm like, ugh. I was like, how did this happen, dude? Thirsty. It's become a thirst trap, dude. Yeah. And I was like, damn. Well,
you know what though? Google's so interconnected with its own platform, so like your internet searches and stuff too. I'm assuming.
All right, even in the empty new browser, the incognito browser, it's like we're onto you.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, brother. But I'll have to try that.
Algorithm. My normal algorithm is not like that at all. My normal algorithm's like a lot of cat videos right now, dog videos, a lot of stuff about like fight commentary videos. There's been some news stuff that's been surfacing in just because my one coworker was telling me about all the stuff that's going on in the world. I was like, oh, I guess I should check some of the stuff out. A lot of wrestling stuff, a lot of the Royal Rumble just ended, so I was looking at like what's going on here with like these type of stories. So I don't know, it's very not thirst traps for me on my normal browsing day to day. A lot of podcasts and even like books. Like when you like showed up today, you're like, oh, I'm late. I was reading this book. What's it called? And I found this from YouTube. It's called How a Catastrophic Necromancer Retires. And it's about a guy who was like necromancer. He gets like summoned to a fantasy world. He gets the power of like, summoning skeletons and stuff. And then it starts at the end of that where he like beats the big bad evil guy and he gets sent back to this world. But if this world's now getting like invaded by monsters. And he's like, bro, I'm done. I just beat one big bad evil guy. I'm trying to retire, dude. So he's using his skeletons basically as slave labor to like do like things. So he's like started a sweatshop, where he's like making shoes with the skeletons and he's just sitting back collecting money. And like that's kind of the start of it. And I was like, all right, this is interesting. I'll read that. So I've been finding like weird book and manhwa and manga recommendations from YouTube. And I just finished reading like a web novel, a Royal Road one. I forgot exactly what that one was about, but I think that one was also kind of like I think it was an archmage doing archmage stuff, and it was okay. I got pretty far into it, like a couple 100 chapters deep, and I was like, and that just made me think about like finished writing like my own book, and I was thinking about that this morning right when I woke up. I was like, I should do some writing, even like for like the animation project that I was sending you stuff with. I was like telling my coworker about, and I was like, you know what this starts as is just writing. Like I should write like a page for like a script, like and I've said this before, like if you do any animation, it's about 8 hours to every 1 minute of animation. And
that's unfortunately very true.
This is why there's not a ton of animation out there. And like, you see a lot of animators like upset on YouTube where it's like, I worked so hard, real work doing this. It's not like some like commentary where like I play somebody else's video. And I was watching this podcast with Andrew Price. Shout out Andrew Price from Blender, does tutorials and stuff. He was interviewing somebody who does like animation, and I was like, dang, this is like two of the biggest names doing it. I was like, how many views this guy? I was like 9,000. And I was like, oh, so nobody cares about this except for like a small group.
It's more about the love of the art form rather than trying to get big, right? So
that was basically what they're saying. They're like, the one guy like had a small studio of like 3 or 4 guys, and he was estimated as like 40 to 50 grand to do like 5 minutes of animation for his team.
Damn.
And I was like, that sounds about right. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it all starts with writing, though. That's what it comes down to. And I know, like, a script is like about 1 page per minute. So I was like, all right, if I write out like a 5-page script for like a big series and I break it down to like smaller 1-minute stories within that, that's how it goes. I was thinking about writing. That was kind of reward enough. Other than that,
there you go. Everything starts with a thought, right?
Yeah. I've been playing at Hearthstone. I found this game I wanted to play. And I don't think it exists. Like it's like somebody caught like a steamy trailer for this game, dude. And I was like, damn, this looks like exactly the type of game I want. And they put it on like Steam. But I looked up the studio. Like the studio has like 0 internet presence. And the game's like release pending. And then like I clicked on like the studio on Steam and they have like another game that's like release pending. So they seem to just make like trailers for ideas for games that they have. And I don't know if they're ever making it or if like, they are like trying to put that out there as like a proof of concept. And like, if I get enough wish lists, then I could talk like a publisher into like, funding the rest of the way or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. I was kind of upset though because I was like, "Damn, I'm about to buy this game right now. This is gonna be my
Yeah.
new thing." And I was like, "Can't buy it. It doesn't exist. The studio doesn't exist." I'm like, "Fuck."
Damn.
So I
Hey,
got
man,
bamboozled, dude.
it's all right. It's all right. Happens to the best of us, man.
Yeah, man.
I've for me, man, as far as the cozy game project that I'm doing, I started making behavior. So I started scripting the animal behavior.
How you doing
Right
that,
now,
man?
I just have I'm doing just like weighted activities. So like if
So like
the
a
animal,
decision tree? Is it
yeah,
like
yep. So if
was
the
it
animal is
goal
hungry,
oriented object
so
programming or whatever?
your goal as the player is to clean the animal, get it
Yeah,
judged, right? The animal's goal is to eat, play, you know,
yeah.
you know, what did I say? Eat and play. Yeah, basically that's all I have right now.
That's some
I
sort of like
have defecation as well, you know, so
yeah,
because I thought
living.
a little bit of toilet humor would it makes me laugh. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm unsure if I want to put that in the game. You know,
yeah.
maybe make it clean it up a little bit, but that's what I have right now. So pig
You
eats too
just call
much.
it
You know,
wandering.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. But you know, pigs like to do what they like to get dirty, right? So
yeah.
there's weight
In the
decisions
mud.
of you just cleaned a pig, right? Your timer's still going down. The pig goes right back in the mud pile, you know, just
Yeah,
like rolls around, gets dirty, so you have to do it all over again. So how do you distract it, you know?
yeah.
So I have that, and right now it's just like a pig's face, and it's
Oh,
just a pig's face walking around, you know, doing these activities. But and that's where I am with that. As far as gaming as a whole, I haven't outside of Void Crew on my stream days, which is just kind of like a spaceship game where everyone has a role to play. It's like a spaceship
yeah,
roguelike, so you can be captain, engineer, pilot, stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing, but nothing's really grabbed me. I'm just
yeah.
it's fun, but nothing's like where I want to go again and again and again and play that and some Marvel Rivals. But you know, nothing's
Damn.
really gotten me there. As far as the console games I played, I beat Ninja Gaiden 2 once again. It's one of the games I beat a million times. I'm at the end of Indiana Jones, so you know I'm grinding through. I'm developing still, but you know it's slow moving. But my day job is one more big project at the end of this month, and then after that, no big project till September. So I'm hoping that
Oh,
when that's there, that's my time to shine.
yes,
Uh,
sir.
you know, so and my birthday's coming up in 2 weeks, so I'm
Oh,
getting
happy
ready.
early birthday.
Thank you. And for myself, get myself a little birthday gift. I'm customizing
Damn.
my arcade stick that I use. So I'm making
Yeah,
some
you're sending me some
Spider-Man.
designs.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
so
we think of
making
this. I'm like, that's cool.
some Spider-Man art for it. So I was gonna do like fighting game stuff where I was like, okay, the characters I usually play as. Then I'm like, you know, I get like as much as I like that, I was like I get bored of some characters, so I switch up and stuff. You know, even if I
Yeah,
main them. So I'm like, what do well I have that I never get bored with? And I thought, oh, Spider-Man. I've loved it.
yeah.
I love Spider-Man since I was
Classic.
like, you know, 4 years old. So you
Yeah.
know, so yeah, so I'm doing that. So you know, there's that. There's a little bit of I'm teaching my kids how to solder. So I have
Okay,
little
yeah.
circuit board projects
Putting them to
here
work.
and some solder. Yeah, because their science class that they were doing like biology unit and stuff, and they skipped their robotics unit
Huh.
because of time, because they
Yeah.
had like some
Time,
days off
money,
because of weather and stuff.
energy. Sure.
So they skipped that unit, and
Dang.
my daughter was really sad about it. So I was like, you know what, we could get some tinker boards and we'll do that. So
Yeah.
you know, 8 year
Awesome.
old and a 6 year old learning how to solder. So
Yeah, man.
that's been pretty rewarding, you know. But yeah, man, I've just been nose to the grindstone. I'm still working on the game. I actually, when we're done talking here, I'm probably gonna eat something and
Yeah.
do a little bit of coding. Get to a point because where I stopped 2 days ago, I didn't like do any notes of where I am or what I'm trying to do. So
Oh,
I'm gonna just jump back in and try and you know clean up my stuff
yeah,
and
yeah.
get ready. But yeah, man, I've as I've said before, I'm using this podcast as just a record for myself
Oh,
to what I'm
yeah.
developing and keeping me on task and keeping me there. And like I said, if I get burnt out and and I don't want to work on it anymore. It's been logged here. This is a real thing that
Sure.
happens to people, right? This is a real thing that happens
Yeah,
for game
happens all the
developers.
time, dude.
A
It's
lot of
hard.
times with these YouTube game developers, they're like, hey, I'm working on this game. It's going to be great. It's going to be on Steam and here. And then 6 years later, you don't hear anything, that they've vanished from the face of
They
the earth,
vanish, delete everything.
Exactly.
Could be us.
It could be us in the end, but the thing is, the difference is we're honest about it, right? We know the hurdles, but you guys all listen to us doing a game jam. You listen to us doing. You've had Chip release three projects, smaller projects, just as their. We did the game jam. I've done multiple little tiny projects, and I just want something
finish my dream game
bigger
here,
that is substantial to me, and I owe that to Chip for inspiring me. I owe that to everyone listening to just keep me motivated, and my own family around me. But it's here. We're working. We're gonna get it done.
Oh yeah, man. Is there a bigger plan? I know at one point you're talking about like trying to put something like on Android, like on the Play Store or something. You still like trying to do something with that?
That's the cozy game I'm working on now.
Oh yeah, you want to release like you have like a target platform and a distributing
Android and iOS. Android, iOS, and I'm going to. And our buddy Spork listens to the podcast, so it's his first time here. He just bought a Mac computer, and you need to. I don't want to like pay for a service to emulate a Mac and publish on it, so I'm gonna use him and make the hour trip to his place. He doesn't know it yet, and I'm gonna get the game published on iOS using his service, the Spork service I call it. So nice. You heard it here first, folks. Heard it here first.
Just show up at your place and use your devices.
Use your Macintosh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But man, that's the plan. I want to do something, and then after that, I feel like I would have gotten the like mobile game publishing like thought out of my head, and I can work on the stuff that I've had in a while. Like I said, I have so many game design docs that I went back to, and I'm like, this sounds fun. I want to work on it. So after that, I'll have the publishing thing off my back. I'll work on the smaller projects, and next week when we do this, I'll talk about my experience with learning Godot.
Nice.
Because that's what I've been working on behind the scenes. So I
have been doing those game docs. I've been sharing those with you.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, here's something I came up. Here's some vague idea I came up with. Check this out.
That's what we have to do, man.
2 or 3 pages, like just kind of like general outlines of how the game would work. But
hell yeah.
I'm usually really bad about actually like sitting down and writing things down. So I've been trying to do that at least like once a week if I have an idea or something. Like, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to come up with ideas, so it's good to practice. You got to practice to do it. It's not like it's like going to magically show up and you'll have like this fully formed idea. Usually you have like a vague notion of what you want, and then like actually making stuff is like how you realize like the systems that will have to go into place to make a fully fledged game or piece of art or a product or whatever you're trying to accomplish, and I've always said like even like things you're doing, like you should have naming conventions and like layouts of like folders and all this stuff, and just make sure to name things, leave README files, because like if you like get like a publishing deal or something, or like somebody hands you a bunch of money and they're like, all right, now scale this up, you're like you're panicking. I just watched like this one YouTuber who said that he hired like a contractor and like everything was going great, but then like when he finally got the files, like it was like all fucked. All place, so he's like, I'm gonna have to spend all this time like doing all this extra work. It's like, yeah, dude, like you should have like some sort of like you should kind of be checking too with like your anyone you hire as well, like check in and be like, all right, let's go over this, like let me check how you're naming things. And like,
I do have experience with that exact thing. We'll go over that next week. I want to. You just, it was like that deep sea thing was about 5 years ago with an employee, and I will. You're gonna love it. So we'll put that in the bud for next week. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Mr. Gimpy.
Chipmunk.
We out of here. Wombo Podcast, baby.
Peace. Deuce.